This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Welcome back. 6 minutes past the hour. Thom Hartmann here with you. And Dr. Alex McFarland is on the line with us. He's the director of Christian Worldview and Apologetics at the Christian Worldview Center, North Greenville University, Greenville, South Carolina. A talk show host of the program Exploring the Word radio program. Alex McFarland, McFarland, FARLAND.com is his website. Alex, welcome back to the program.
And plus, you can add to my bio, plus a big fan of the Thom Hartmann Show.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You wrote a piece titled Fights Over RFRAs, these Religious Freedom Restoration Acts, show rejection of moral boundaries. And if I can quote from it, you say, the United States is based on a belief that there are some moral boundaries. The Pilgrims came to the New World because moral justice cried for realization through religious freedom. Those Pilgrims who came to the United States believed that if women were witches, they should be thrown in ponds. If they drowned, that meant that they were actually not possessed by the devil. If they didn't drown, they were possessed by the devil, and they got hanged. Don't our standards change over time?
Christians ended the Salem witch trials thanks to Cotton Mather and Increase Mather, two Christians. The insanity of the Salem witch trials were put to an end. What I want to talk about, though, are the fact that America was based on belief in moral absolutes, moral truth. Our Constitution, the Declaration, all hung on there being some moral boundaries, and the advancement of the gay agenda hangs on there not being any moral boundaries.
No, it's not true. And by the way, the moral boundary that was built into the Constitution, Alex, was that black people were not fully human, that they were property, not people.
That's not in our U.S. Constitution.
It was in the Constitution at the founding of this republic, and for the first
helped rectify that as quickly as they did. Look, Charles Carroll,
80 years,
Declaration of Independence, said that any person who fights belief in God and morality really undermines our freedom. In 1800, Fisher Ames, who wrote the First Amendment, wrote a biography about George Washington, the sublime life and thought of George Washington. Fisher Ames, who wrote the First Amendment, said that this nation cannot exist without morals and religion. Now, here's what I say. I spoke last night at UNC Chapel Hill, and I say this: for those that want to engage in homosexual activity, knock yourself out, have at it. But don't tear down the culture, the milieu, the context that gives you the freedom to safely walk around as a non-heterosexual.
How does it possibly harm you, unless you're a conflicted bisexual or gay person? How does it possibly harm you that the couple next door is gay?
It doesn't at all. But
why do you want to discriminate against them?
What we're looking at on the gay agenda is an enforced tolerance, whereby not only do I tolerate, but I have to embrace and affirm, and that is something that can only come at the cost of the religious freedom of those that disagree with.
So, are you suggesting? This sounds to me like the argument you're making is conflating business and religion. Are you suggesting that if I own a business, that I should be able to say my religion, as the Mormon Church officially set up until the 1970s or 80s, my religion says that black people are descended from Cain, not Abel, and therefore my business will not serve them. This was a popular argument made in the 1960s in the South in the United States, and for 400 years, by the way, before that, that I should be able to discriminate like that? Is that what you're arguing?
Homosexuality is a behavior. It is not an ethnicity.
Is religion not a behavior?
Religious freedom is one of the core values that our founding fathers built America on. And now, restaurants everywhere.
How is the freedom? As is the freedom of association.
To anyone. Look, we must not in America, just because there's been a well-funded, well-organized, unrelenting 40-year marketing campaign to legitimize homosexuality as being normative or equal commensurate with heterosexuality, we cannot turn over 6,000 years of human
bigotry,
history, marriage, 2,000 years of Western civilization.
Alex, you're wrong.
A 40-year
Alex, you're wrong.
Agenda.
You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. If you're talking about going back to biblical standards of marriage, that means that if a man rapes a woman, she's his wife. It's in the Bible. It means
Tom, you're missing the point.
It means that if Solomon wants 700 wives, he gets them. It's in the Bible.
Now think about this. Imagine if all couples were a man and a woman and built a stable, loving home life. The world would be a pretty good place. Imagine if all couples were...
Not if there were gay people who were in pain and agony as a consequence of it.
Exist. Look, our nation, our founding fathers from Jefferson, Franklin, Carroll, on down, they believed in a Judeo-Christian moral code. That's why
that's why Thomas Jefferson cut all the miracles out of the Bible.
Moses holding the Decalogue. This agenda, and I'm not saying that people behind closed doors can't engage in what they would choose to engage in. I happen to know with at the master's level, a degree in developmental psychology, that there are certain things that contribute to same-sex attraction, and homosexuality is a means of dealing with emotional pain. That's
nonsense. That's pseudoscience.
Well, I beg to disagree.
Again, with the exception of a very small slice of people who are bisexual.
There's no science that says people are born gay, and we're endangering our Constitution based on a behavior, not an ethnicity.
No, there's a very simple question here, and I'm not going to confront you with it because I don't want to personalize this, but at what age did you notice the other sex? At what age? And what was your interest? And if you ask gay people, they will tell you, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, I started noticing people the same sex were interesting to me. Straight people will tell you the same thing. I mean, this is clearly, it goes way beyond anything that's, this hocus pocus, Marcus Bachmann nonsense psychology stuff. And beyond that, again, I get back to the point, religion is a choice. If you're choosing your religion, why do I have to have your religion inflicted on me in the marketplace? The marketplace is not religious.
Tom, listen, this is not about religion. This is about the philosophical and epistemological underpinnings of our Constitution, which is belief that there are some moral absolutes.
You want to go back to slavery?
Morality and religion are two different things, Tom.
So you want to go back to slavery?
Force religion on anybody.
So you want to go back to slavery?
No, of course not.
It was in our Constitution. It's what our founders all supported.
Having spoken at more than 150 universities, when I present the contributing factors that cause people to experience same-sex attraction, it never fails. And even last night at Chapel Hill, we talked to young people. They come up and they'll say, I've had same-sex attraction. I was molested as a child. My parents abused me. My parents separated.
Alex, the percentage of people who have been molested or abused is huge. And there's no causal relationship, or not a clear causal relationship between those two. And beyond that, as I was saying before, well, I'm going in circles here. You're arguing that a store should be able to discriminate against. I don't have a problem if your church wants to discriminate. Right.
So think about this, Tom. Just think about this for a second. Should a homosexual man who is a printer be forced to print flyers that say, like the Westboro Baptist Church so wrongly would say, God hates fags?
If that's his business.
Pardon?
If that's his business. The rules of business are, if you offer a service to the public, you offer a service to the public. If you're going to start discriminating on which part of the public you're going to offer that service to, you have no right to a business license.
But why should we give a special set of rights to a subset?
It's not a special set of rights. It is the obligation of business to conduct business.
It's on a behavior.
Business is a behavior.
The undermining of the rights of Christians. The undermining
the right to discriminate?
In moral absolutes.
You're saying the discrimination is a right in the United States?
No, but religion, freedom of conscience, is absolutely a constitutionally protected right.
Fine, don't let gay people into your church if you don't want to. Although I think that would be anti-Christian.
All sinners need Jesus. I'm a saved sinner. All sinners. The Bible says, whosoever...
Respectfully, Alex, I don't think that Jesus is with you on this, and I think you might be in big trouble. But actually, I'm sorry. I take it back. I didn't want to personalize this. Dr. Alex McFarland.
So non-judgmental.
Thank you. AlexMcFarland.com. We'll be back. Thank you, sir.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
15